That which does not kill me makes me stronger. He who fights with monsters should see to it that he himself does not become a monster. And if you gaze long into an abyss, the abyss also gazes into you. One must still have chaos in oneself to be able to give birth to a dancing star. Become who you are. Without music, life would be a mistake. Convictions are more dangerous enemies of truth than lies. The thought of suicide is a great consolation. By means of it, one gets through many a dark night. The higher we soar, the smaller we appear to those who cannot fly. The secret for harvesting from existence, the greatest fruitfulness and greatest enjoyment, is to live dangerously. What is great in man is that he is a bridge and not a goal. Man is a rope stretched between the animal and the Superman, a rope over an abyss. You must be ready to burn yourself in your own flame. How could you rise anew if you have not first become ashes? One repays a teacher badly if one always remains nothing but a pupil. There is always some madness in love, but there is also always some reason in madness. The lonely one offers his hand too quickly to whomever he encounters. In every real man, a child is hidden that wants to play. What does your conscience say? You shall become the person you are. The noble soul has reverence for itself. Whoever despises himself still respects himself as one who despises. Madness is rare in individuals, but in groups, parties, nations, and ages, it is the rule. The demand to be loved is the greatest of all arrogant presumptions. We love life, not because we are used to living, but because we are used to loving. Only thoughts which come from walking have any value. One loves ultimately one's desires, not the thing desired. Blessed are the forgetful, for they get the better even of their blunders. In peaceful conditions, the warlike man attacks himself. One is punished best for one's virtues. The maturity of man. That means to have reacquired the seriousness that one had as a child at play. A thought comes when it wishes, and not when I wish. Every profound spirit needs a mask. There are no moral phenomena at all, but only a moral interpretation of phenomena. The vanity of others offends our taste only when it offends our vanity. The consequences of our actions seize us by the forelock, indifferent to the fact that we have meanwhile reformed. Everything has evolved. There are no eternal facts, as there are likewise no absolute truths. The greatest advance that men have made lies in their acquisition of the art to reason rightly. Opinions evolve out of passions. Indolence of intellect allows those to congeal into convictions. The belief in truth begins with the doubt of all truths in which one has previously believed. It is more convenient to follow one's conscience than one's intelligence. We must know how to emerge cleaner from unclean conditions. Public opinion, private laziness. The unreasonableness of a thing is no argument against its existence, but rather a condition thereof. Fellowship in joy and not sympathy in sorrow makes people friends. We are so fond of being out among nature because it has no opinions about us. Truth does not find fewest champions when it is dangerous to speak it, but when it is dull. It is a very noble hypocrisy not to talk of oneself at all. Joy in the thing, people say, but in reality, it is joy in oneself by means of the thing. The first opinion that occurs to us when suddenly asked about anything is not usually our own. The advantage of a bad memory is that one enjoys several times the same good things for the first time. The snake which cannot cast its skin has to die. So too, the minds which are prevented from changing their opinions. He who cannot obey himself will be commanded. The body is a great intelligence, a multiplicity with one sense, a war and a peace, a herd and a shepherd. You look up when you wish to be exalted, and I look down because I am exalted. The Creator seeks companions, not corpses, not herds, and not believers. Of all that is written, I love only what a person has written with his blood. Write with blood, and you will experience that blood is spirit. There is more reason in your body than in your best wisdom. I would believe only in a God who could dance. lost be the day to us in which a measure has not been danced. A friend should be a master at guessing and keeping silent. The man of knowledge must be able not only to love his enemies, but also to hate his friends. One must be a sea to receive a polluted stream without becoming impure. I love him who wants to create beyond himself and thereby perishes. He who has to be a creator in good and evil must first be a destroyer and break values. Creating, that is the great salvation from suffering and life's alleviation. Distrust all in whom the impulse to punish is powerful. The greatest events are not our noisiest, but our stillest hours. Not around the inventors of new noise, but around the inventors of new values does the world revolve. He who does not believe in himself always lies. Since humanity came into being, man has enjoyed himself too little. That alone is our original sin. The sting of conscience teaches one to sting. All great love is above all its pity, for it seeks to create what is loved. What the people once learned to believe without reasons, who could refute it to them by means of reasons? If a man knows the wherefore of his existence, then the manner of it can take care of itself. What is happiness? The feeling that power increases, that a resistance is overcome. What is good? All that heightens the feeling of power, the will to power, power itself in man. What is bad? All that proceeds from weakness. The most common lie is that which one lies to oneself. Lying to others is relatively an exception. Faith means not wanting to know what is true, to know the limits of reason. That alone is genuine philosophy. My formula for greatness in a human being is amor fati, that one wants nothing to be different. Amor fati, let that be my love henceforth. I want to learn more and more to see as beautiful what is necessary in things. I do not want to wage war against what is ugly. Looking away shall be my only negation. Someday I wish to be only a yes-sayer. To give style to one's character, a great and rare art. One must learn to love. Thoughts are the shadows of our feelings, always darker, emptier, simpler. What is the seal of liberation? Not to be ashamed in front of oneself. This life as you now live it, and have lived it, you will have to live once more, and innumerable times more. How much truth can a spirit bear? How much truth can a spirit dare? The earth has a skin, and this skin has diseases. One of these diseases, for example, is called man. One pays dearly for immortality. One has to die several times while still alive. The lie of the ideal has hitherto been the curse on reality. I am not a man, I am dynamite. What is falling? That one should also push. The state is the coldest of all cold monsters. He who climbs upon the highest mountains laughs at all tragedies, real or imaginary. Become hard.